Welcome back to the Hero's Journey. I am your empowerment guide and fellow superhero, Venus the Goddess. This is Arc 7, Becoming the Hero of Your Own Story, Identity, Archetypes, and Self Creation. This is a pre recorded lecture, so please feel free to pause at any time to take a break. Just note the time, that way you won't lose your place. Let's begin. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. The objective of this arc is to understand how identity is constructed through labels, archetypes, and narrative, and to equip you with the tools to consciously rewrite your own story, reclaim your authentic self, and step into the role of the hero. Subject definitions. Self-concept. Self-concept is the collection of beliefs, attitudes, and perceptions you hold about yourself. It is your mental answer to who am I? Personal identity. Personal identity is your personality, your unique, relatively enduring sense of self, shaped by both temperament and environment. It includes your traits, values, beliefs, and life experiences. Social identity. Social identity is the part of your self concept that comes from membership in social groups such as nationality, race, profession, religion, or family. These groups can provide pride and belonging, but they can also become restrictive labels. Labels and projections. Labels are external, often simplified categories assigned to you by others. For example, the smart one, the troublemaker, or too sensitive. Projections occur when others attribute their own unconscious feelings onto you. Both are external narratives that can be mistakenly internalized as your core identity. Self creation. Self creation is the active, ongoing process of developing your identity through intention and choice. It is the shift from being a passive recipient of labels to becoming the active author of your own narrative. Authenticity. Authenticity is the state of aligning your actions with your core values and true self, rather than with external demands. It is the experience of congruence between who you are internally and how you behave in the world. Who are you really? You might answer this question with your name, your job, or your roles. I am a mother. I am a teacher. I am a Christian. But go deeper. When you are born, you are given a name, assigned a gender, and handed a religion and nationality. None of these were your choice. So, who are you without the labels? Who would you be if no one told you who to be? If no one told you what to believe about yourself or the world? In your first moments of life, you are a defenseless newborn with only basic consciousness. You cry when you are hungry, you cry when you are tired, and you cry when you want to be held. Then you grow. You learn to walk and talk. You become aware of yourself and your environment. You build connections with parents, siblings, playmates, teachers, and friends. And through these connections, you absorb ideas about yourself and how society perceives you. Culture attaches labels. You're a girl, so you must like pink. Boys don't cry. Society has norms, morality, laws, and rules. Religion shapes beliefs. Social codes dictate how to engage with others. You are assigned a class and a place, poor or rich, privileged or marginalized. Your personality, your unique perspective on life, is shaped by both nature and nurture. How you are raised and how you perceive your experiences creates who you become. So, again, if no one told you who you are, who would you be? If no one would tease you, ridicule, judge, or criticize you, who would you choose to become? It is said that one of people's biggest deathbed regrets is never having the courage to be themselves. Do not let that be you. Here is a coloring illustration. Imagine you are a page from a coloring book. The outline is drawn for you. That is your genetic temperament, your predispositions. But instead of letting society choose the colors, why not pick up the crayons yourself? Create who you want to be. Let's take a brief pause here before we move into the next subject. Take a moment to just allow the information to absorb. Get a drink of water, sip some tea if you're a tea drinker like myself, stretch your legs, or simply uh, enjoy the silence. Or you can practice breathing. Okay. Archetypes, symbols, and the language of story. Archetypes are universal, inherited patterns, themes, or prototypes deeply rooted in the human psyche, such as the hero, the mother, the shadow, or the villain. Symbols are the specific visual images, objects, or motifs that represent these abstract archetypes in dreams, myths, and stories. When you label yourself a victim, a hero, or a villain, you are identifying with an archetype. When you say, I'm as brave as a lion, or I am as strong as an ox, you are using symbols to express your self identity. Archetypes and symbols act as the mind's visual language. They allow humans to process, communicate, and understand complex abstract realities. They connect our conscious thoughts with deeper unconscious psychological patterns, making them vital for emotional processing, human connection, and personal growth. Let's take another brief pause before moving into the next section. Take a moment to practice breathing, a very brief meditation, or simply just enjoy the silence. Okay, why stories are wired into our brains. Storytelling is as old as human language itself. Archaeological evidence, such as cave paintings dating back to 30,000 years, shows that humans have always told stories. Some indigenous or oral histories trace back to tens of thousands of years. Why are narratives so vital to us? Well, they are for four main reasons. One, brain wiring. Neurological research shows that stories activate multiple areas of the brain, making information far easier to remember than raw facts or data. An example of this are fables, where which are stories that basically teach us something. Like, for example, the tortoise and the hare. In that fable, we learn that it isn't always the fastest person that wins the race. Instead, slow and steady wins the race. Another reason why narratives are so vital to us is because of survival and learning. Our ancestors relied on stories to pass down vital survival information: which plants were poisonous, how to track animals, or how to avoid danger. Social cohesion. Social cohesion is another reason why narratives are so vital, because shared stories and cultural myths builds trust. It aligns community values and fosters empathy by allowing us to experience the world through another's eyes. Finally, it is vital because it helps us to make sense of chaos. Humans use narratives to impose cause, effect, and meaning on a chaotic, unpredictable world. Stories help us to process complex emotions and events. We do not just tell stories, stories tell us who we are. The brain rewires itself with every repeated thought and action. Telling yourself a heroic story activates different circuits in your brain than a victim story. So, if you repeatedly tell yourself a victim story, then you are going to experience victimhood in your life. It's almost like a self fulfilling prophecy. And the same is true with a heroic story. So, if you tell yourself that you are the hero of your life, you are going to start seeing that in reflected in your life, reflected in your daily experiences. Let's take another brief pause before moving into the next subject. Again, take a moment to breathe, um, get a drink of water, sip some tea, stretch your legs, or simply just enjoy the silence. Okay, gods and heroes, the blueprint for transformation. The human obsession with heroes is as old as storytelling. The oldest known heroic epic is the Epic of Gilgamesh from the ancient Mesopotamia, dating back to approximately 2100 BC. Gilgamesh undertakes a quest, battles monsters, and searches for immortality. The hero motif has been with us since the dawn of written language. Some famous heroes across cultures and history include Zeus, Hercules, Superman, Jesus, King Arthur, Joan of Arc, and Harriet Tubman. If you look to the left hand side, this is an image of a clay tablet, and it may look like a bunch of uh maybe like a stone chipping of a stone, but really this is a language. It's a story. It's the story of Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh, a piece of that story. The hero savior motif is vital to human experience because it acts as an evolutionary coping mechanism. It provides a psychological blueprint for overcoming adversity. It helps to buffer existential fears and gives us hope and order in a chaotic world. We see ourselves in the hero. The superhero is the outward projection of our strongest sense of self. Superhuman. The same is true of the villain. The villain is the outward projection of our weakest sense of self. We are both the heroes and the villains, the gods and the devils. Choose to be the hero. The classic hero's journey mirrors our own real life quest for growth. Watching a protagonist overcome flaws, face danger, and transform provides a roadmap for our own personal development and resilience. The hero's journey truly is a map of human consciousness. Okay, we're going to take another brief pause before moving into the next subject matter. And I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Okay, the power of myth. As mythologist Joseph Campbell wrote, what human beings have in common is revealed in myths. Myths are stories of our search. Myths are stories of our search through the ages for truth, for meaning, for significance. We all need to tell our story and to understand our story. We all need help in our passages from birth to life and life to death. We all need to touch the external, to understand the mysteries, to find out who we are. We can use classic storytelling to rewire our brains and reinvent ourselves. Instead of letting society write your story, I challenge you to write your own. You are the writer, the narrator, and the main character of your life story. You are the hero. Your assignment is to write your own comic book. I want you to create a comic book, call it The Hero's Journey. Your name is on the cover as author and illustrator. Answer these questions. What is your superhero name? Well, you may already have a superhero name because in Arc 5, I asked you to choose a name for yourself. If you don't already have one, you can choose the name of a mythological character or deity. Like myself, I chose the name Venus the Goddess after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. Or you can choose the name of a modern day god or superhero like Superman. Or you can just come up with a name that is uniquely yours. For example, my father, who is also a mentor, he goes by Daniel the Wolf. And one of my good friends, she goes by the title The Princess Warrior. Next, I want you to answer the question, what are your attributes and strengths? You may already have them because also in ARC 5, your homework assignment was to list at least 10 adjectives or superhero qualities or divine attributes about yourself. Some examples are brave, courageous, bold, confident. Next, answer the question, what are your superpowers? Now, your superpowers, they are like your I am statements, similar to your attributes. Try using words like incomparable, unstoppable, invincible, undefeated. Next, what is your origin story? Your origin story or your lore. Your origin story can be a mix of fiction and biography. How did you become who you are? What's the story behind that? Finally, answer the question, who are your adversaries, your challenges, or the villains in your hero's journey? Keep in mind that your adversaries are never going to be other people. Your adversaries are not other humans. Instead, they are internal conflicts. Some examples of adversaries are depression. Depression is the dark forest before the awakening. Or anxiety. Anxiety is the dragon at the cave entrance. Other examples of adverse adversaries are chronic stress, chronic anger, self doubt, negative self talk, fear, or shame. Then I want you to affirm. Say, I am, insert your superhero name. I dominate and vanquish my enemies. I crush, then insert your enemy beneath my feet like dirt. I'm going to use mine for an example. I am Venus the goddess. I dominate and vanquish my enemies. I crush fear beneath my feet like dirt. Then stomp your foot. Really get into it. Really imagine as you stomp your foot the ground shaking beneath you because you're so powerful. Mirror work, embody the hero. So I want you to stand in front of the mirror, emote, flex your muscles, beat your chest, use your imagination, picture a cape flowing behind you. Like I said, really get into character. And also recite your I am affirmations. Recite them like a manifesto. Here is mine for an example. I am Venus the goddess, the beautiful one, the fairest goddess of them all. I am the morning star, the light bringer, the greatest of the angels. Greatness is my destiny. I am the greatest of all time. I am loved. I am worshiped. I am beautiful. I am sexy. I am desirable. I am wealthy. I am prosperous. I am victorious. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of reverence. I am worthy of devotion. I am powerful. I am strong. I am mighty. I am courageous. I am invincible. I am unstoppable. I dominate and vanquish my enemies. I crush them beneath my feet like dirt. There is power in my name. I can turn mountains into leveled land, and my name means desire. A note on borrowing. Your story is yours. In my world, I am a goddess, an angel, a warrior having a human experience. In my world, there are dragons, deities, magic, and spirit creatures. Your story does not have to be mine, it must be yours. But you are more than welcome to borrow my ideas. Here are some archetypes to inspire you. So, for example, the gods of the sky, thunder and lightning. You have Zeus, which is Greek, Shango, which is from West Africa, the Yoruba tradition, also Oya, who is also from the Yoruba tradition, and Thor, who comes from the Norse mythology. Then there are the gods of war. Mars, which is Roman, Ares, Greek, Ogun, which is Yoruba, is a African god, and Odin, who is a Norse god. Then there are the gods of love and beauty, such as Aphrodite, Greek, Venus, Roman, Oshun, African, Yoruba, and Freya, which is from the Norse mythology. And then you also have the gods of the sun, like Ra, which is Egyptian, Apollo, Greek, Sol, Roman, and Inti, which is from the Inca culture. So you see, gods or heroes, these narratives, these myths are all across history and cultures. Africa, Greece, Rome, um, the Americas, all over. And the god of thunder, Thor, he is actually a perfect example of how ancient mythology and ancient gods have morphed into present day superheroes. Thor is either from the Norse mythology. Let's take another brief pause before moving into, I believe this is our final subject. So take a moment to stretch your legs, drink some water, sip some tea, practice a very brief meditation. So practice breathing, inhale, exhale, or simply just enjoy the silence. These types of pauses help you to absorb information better. All right. The hero's journey. Joseph Campbell identified a universal story structure called the hero's journey, which appears in myths across cultures. Here are the 12 stages adapted from Campbell's original work by Christopher Vogler. 1. The ordinary world. This is where the hero originates. This is home. The hero is introduced in their normal life. 2. The call to adventure. This is where a problem or challenge arises. 3. Refusal of the call. This is where the hero hesitates due to fear or insecurity. 4. Meeting the mentor. This is where the hero meets the guide, and the guide gives the hero tools or confidence. So, this is where you meet me. This is the part of the journey where you meet me. As a mentor, as a guide, I am giving you the map of the journey as well as equipping you with tools and resources like practices like meditation and mindfulness to help you to be able to move forward in your hero's journey or your healing journey. In the beginning, you are, looking out like in this image at this long, seemingly intimidating journey ahead. And remember, healing is not linear. So there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. And in the beginning, it may feel intimidating and daunting. Healing can feel intimidating and daunting, especially when you get to the part where you have to look at your shadow side. But you don't have to take this journey alone. As your guide, I'm here to help you to be successful. Next is crossing the threshold. This is where the hero commits and enters the special world. So here, this is where you move from home, you leave home and you start or embark on this journey. Next are tests, allies, and enemies. This is where the hero faces challenges and learns the rules. Challenges in your hero's journey are like depression, anxiety, self doubt, negative self talk. Other challenges are just life's challenges like death or the loss of a valued relationship or loss of a job. Next is approach to the inmost cave. This is where the hero prepares for the main challenge. This is where the hero goes within to reflect. Following is the ordeal. This is where um, the hero confronts their greatest fear. So it's a major crisis where the hero has to now um, confront their greatest fear. What is your greatest fear? Is it being alone? Is it the fear of abandonment? The fear of rejection? Is it the feeling that you are unworthy of love? Next is the reward or seizing the sword. The hero gains treasure, knowledge, or power. If you're familiar with the movie, it's a Disney movie. I believe it's called The Sword and the Stone, where this is the part of the journey where you, as young King Arthur, um, comes to the stone, the sword and the stone, and he pulls it out. Next is the road back. This is where the hero begins returning to the ordinary world or going back home. Next is resurrection. This is a final high stakes showdown test that tests the hero for one last time. So, this is the final test in the hero's journey. Finally, it is the return with the elixir. This is where the hero returns home using their reward to help their community. This is where the step or the stage that I am in. I went through the stages of the hero's journey and I received the reward, which is this knowledge that I'm now passing down to you. Now, like I said, the healing journey or the hero's journey is not linear. Healing isn't linear. It is a series of like 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. There are going to be, periods where you progress, and there's going to be periods where you kind of have a setback. So you may have to go through these stages more than once. And that's not failure. That's growth. That's healing. That's just how it goes. The key to success is to never give up, to be consistent. In many ways, the hero's journey mirrors the fool's journey. The fool, who is naive and inexperienced, takes a leap of faith and sets out on a journey of self discovery. The hero's journey is a story of departure or the call to action, then initiation, the trials, the tribulations, and finally the return, that is, integration, wisdom, and healing. Every superhero story has the same beats: suffering or loss, a call to a harder path, doubt and darkness, a choice to believe anyway, transformation, and then finally return with healing to offer others. You are not waiting for a savior. You are the savior. You are the savior of your own existence. Now is the time to begin your journey. Peace be the journey. So that wraps up Arc 7. Now we're going to get into homework. So your homework for this arc is number 1, to write your origin story. Make it 1 page, and the origin story should answer the question, how did you become who you are? Like I said, the origin story can be a mix of fiction and biography. It's your lore, okay? 2, name your superhero self. What do we call you? If you already have a name, great. If you don't, please choose a name that embodies your highest self. 3, list your enemies. Remember, your enemies are not other people. Name the internal adversaries you are committed to conquering, such as anxiety or self doubt. 4, create your affirmation manifesto. Write it, recite it daily in the mirror. This assignment is due 1 week from the completion of this video. No homework assignments will be graded, and you don't have to turn anything in. This is simply for your own personal practice. If you take time to do the homework, you're going to find that you're going to progress a whole lot faster. All right, credits. The research for this presentation was conducted using a variety of sources, including authoritative books, scientific publications, and AI-assisted research tools used to synthesize and verify complex information. If you would like to learn more about any of the subjects presented, I encourage you to do your own research. This presentation contains images and diagrams used under the fair use for educational and commentary purposes within an original work. All visual media are the property of their respective creators. No copyright infringement is intended. Offerings. I do offer private sessions, so if you would like to book a virtual one-on-one mentoring session with me, please email me at thegoddessxx@gmail.com. Sessions are 60 minutes at a rate of $150 per hour. Voluntary offerings. If you would like to donate to this channel, my Cash App is #the goddess XX. So this concludes ARC 7. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it empowering and informative. As always, I love you, and please have a beautiful, brilliant, radiant, prosperous day. Until next time, bye.